Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Dear students, I, Dr. Shivang Patel, Associate Professor from School of Computer Science, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, welcome you all from the Chaitanya studio of Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. In the lecture series of Python programming, in last few sessions, we have discussed various types of data structures, right? We have already discussed tuple, we have discussed list, we have discussed dictionaries. Now we are going to discuss the concept of strings. So as you already aware, in different programming languages, the strings that can be used mostly, you already aware that strings are nothing but it is the collection of characters. You can say that character may be anything, it may be digit, it may be lowercase letter, it may be uppercase letter, it may be any special symbol, right? So in today's session, we are going to discuss to create, manipulate and format strings, that you can able to understand what strings are and their role, explore various string methods. Python supports various inbuilt methods for different operations of string that we are going to study, and then after we will see use of regular expressions. So first of all, introduction. String, that you already aware, it is the collection of characters. So why it is important? Because anything you want to represent, most probably you can represent anything, it is in the form of string. Say for example, suppose you want to store any kind of detail like student's detail or student information, in which you are storing different values like student name, address, course, fees regarding information, email information, all those information that are comprises of string. So you can say that strings that are mostly used in our day-to-day life, in our programming language, different programming languages having different data types to store string. In Python, basically, as you already aware, suppose you want to store string, there is a data type called str. Explicitly, it cannot be used as a data type, but you can know that you can understand various data structure and various data type in which str data type that is responsible to store that string data. Now in Python, there is no difference in character and string as in other programming languages. Character, that means a single character, you can denote by using single quote. If you want to represent string, then you are requiring double quotation in other programming languages. But in Python, there is no separate difference, there is no separate data type available to store character. So generally, most probably, character, it is also considering as a string, and character and string, they are both considering same in the Python programming language, right? Now string manipulation and the formatting. Now the string created in Python by allocating a collection of character into a string variable. As you already aware, suppose you want to represent any of the literal value, literal may be integer, float, character, string. So what you are doing, you are creating one variable on the left hand side on equal to sign, and then after on the right hand side you are presenting some value. So if you want to represent some string, then what you have to do, you can create one variable, string variable, that is on the left hand side. You must have to follow all the rules and regulations for creating the variable name, or you can say that the identifier name. On the right hand side of equal to sign, you have to put whatever the value that you want to store in that variable. Now we are going to discuss the string. So here in Python, you can create a string by using multiple ways, by using single quote, by using double quotation, or by using triple quotation. So these are the multiple ways by which you can create a string. You can observe on your screen, we are having three options. In first option, we are using single quotation, and whatever the string value, we are putting in between single quotation. On the left hand side, there is a variable called string variable that will store the value of that particular string. In the second alternative, you are using double quotation, and in the third alternative, you are using triple quotation. So you can use any of the method to create a string. Remember one thing, if you are not using variable name, right? So as we have discussed in previous Python lecture series or Python lectures, that how to represent the comments. So some comments can be represented by using also multi-line comments or block comments, right? So that comment that can be represented by using triple quotation, single quotation or double quotation, but it is triple 3 times, right? But we are not mentioning the variable name on the left hand side. So compiler itself considering whatever the string in between these 3 quotations, that will be considered as a comment, and the interpreter that will ignore, compiler that will ignore for execution. But if you are using particular variable name on the left hand side of particular string, then this string data that will be created and that will be stored in particular variable name. So mind well, if you are not using the variable name, then it will be considering as comment, multi-line comment, you can say that the block comment, and if you are using the variable name, then it is of string type, right? You can see one demonstration, so you can get idea how the string will be created with the help of 3 different alternatives. We have created string here by using 3 alternatives, by using single quotation, double quotation and the triple quotation, right? Then after string indexing, so as you already aware the concept of array in different programming languages, so you can say that the string is nothing but the array, but it is the collection of multiple characters, right? So if you want to access, if you want to fetch any element from that array or particular string, then you have to use the concept called indexing. So as you already aware, the index starts with the 0. So at the beginning the index value starts with 0, but there is an advantage in Python. Suppose you want to fetch whatever the elements from the end or from the reverse direction, then it is also possible. As you already aware, we have already discussed in the list and tuple section that -1, that is the last index value. So if you want to fetch whatever the elements from the reverse position or at the end of the string, in that case you have to use the index value negative, that is -1. So at the beginning from left hand side it is 0 and from right hand side it is negative, that is -1. So what is the basic syntax? You have to use variable name, then after the square bracket, and whatever the index that you want to fetch, that you have to put inside that square bracket, that you have to remember. Now this is the simple demonstration, you can get idea. str1, that is our string variable. Here we have created one string, the name is Python. Print str1 then 0. So here we are fetching 0th index. So 0th index, that is p. As you already aware, the index value starts with 0. So we are trying to fetch the 0th position value, so that is p. If you are trying to use negative index, that is -1, so it will give you the very last character, that is n, right? Then strict slicing. So what is slicing? So say for example, if you want to extract some multiple characters or some bunch of characters from particular string, in that case you are using this concept called string slicing, right? Every time it is not required that you can start the string from the 0th position or you are requiring to fetch from the last position. In between, suppose you are requiring some of the characters or some substring, in that case you have to use this concept called string slicing. Here you have to use starting index as well as the ending index, and in between you have to put the colon sign. So what compiler will do? It will do whatever the index value starts from the first and then after colon sign, and after whatever the integer value you have mentioned up to that end, the whatever the elements that can be fetched. You can see on the screen the example is given. Say for example str in square bracket, then after 0:4. What it means? The string fetching that starts with 0th index. Now total number of characters that are first, it will return 5 characters, that is from 0 to 4, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the characters that you can fetch. Mind well one thing, here whatever the value you are mentioning at the end, so it will be considered as exclusive. So that character that can be omitted. So here 4 is there. So what happened? 4 minus 1. So up to 3 index, whatever the number of characters, that will be displayed. If you want to represent the last character, in that case whatever the size of string you are having plus 1, that you have to mention as an end index value. Say for example you are requiring to print 5th character, right? That means your string size is 5. In that case you have to use 6 as the end character, then and then you can fetch whatever the last character, right? Now here suppose you are not mentioning the starting index value, you are representing colon and 4, then what happened? by default the string fetching starts from the 0th index and it will end up to the 4. Alternatively, suppose you are mentioning 0, but you are not mentioning the last location of particular index. In that case, what happens? The index value starts from the 0 and whatever the number of characters or string ends, that character will be displayed if you are using only 0 colon and nothing, right. So, these are the two cases that you can use practically, right. Then after another example, in the last line you can see str4 colon, that means you have to fetch string that starts with 4 index value, then after colon, and that we have not mentioned anything at the end, right. That means the string ends whatever the number of characters that will be displayed here in this case. You can get more idea here. Basically the syntax that represents start, stop and step. Start, that means the initial value, the starting index value, by default it is 0. Stop, that is end of the index, you can say that exclusively, that is n-1 as we have already discussed. Then step, that is the interval, by default it is 1. If you want to skip some of the character in some specific sequence, in that case you are using this step, right. Say for example, step is not given here, so by default it is 1. We will more precise with the help of this demo. Say for example str1 0 colon 3. So here the index value starts from 0 and how many characters that will be printed? 0, 1 and 2. That means total 3 characters, that index starts from 0 to 2, that will be printed here. Then after we have not mentioned anything as a start and we are mentioning colon, then after nothing, that means we are also skipping the end, then after colon then 2. That means here we are using here step size, that is 2. So you can observe here first character, that is displayed P, then after Y is skipped, then after T, then after H is skipped, then after O, then after N is skipped, right. So here the interval that you are mentioning, not the start and end index, that's why such kind of result you can appear or you can see. Now string formatting. So basically what happened, if you want to merge your string data with some integer data. So normally in other programming languages like Java, you are merging different types of data by using plus sign. Say for example, your string variable is there and if you want to merge the integer value, then you are using plus sign to merge both different values. But here what happened, if you are using plus sign in the Python, then Python compiler will give you error message. You are having another alternative, you can use comma sign, right, or there is a special provision for such kind of cases, you can use formatted string, right. So how you can use formatted string? You are having options, you can use format as a method or you can use f as a prefix before that particular string literal. So whatever the string value you are having, before that you can use f as a prefix, then you can print multiple types of data into single statement. What is the basic syntax? So you have to use here curly bracket at which you are requiring to fetch the value of particular variable. So here you have to put f, that is your prefix, then after whatever the string, then after in curly bracket you mention the variable name. So you can get more idea with the help of this demonstration. Say for example here 3 variables we have created, name, age and city. Name having the string value, city having the string value, but age having the integer value. Now suppose you want to merge all those data in a single statement. So by using formatted string option, you are using f as a prefix, then after you can use, say for example my name is, and then after in curly bracket you are mentioning the variable name. So whatever the variable value at that time, that will be printed at that location with the help of this formatted string. So this is the simple way to merge multiple kind of data into single statement while you are printing some of the statements. Now string methods and the operations, as you already aware, Python supports multiple inbuilt methods for different data structures for simplicity of different kinds of operation. Same way here, to different type of operation regarding string or related with string, there are multiple inbuilt methods available. We will see one by one, so you can get more idea. Here you can observe the list of multiple inbuilt methods that are available. We will also see the demonstration, so you can get more idea how these methods that can be used. First method, that is len method. Suppose you want to find the size of particular string, what are the total number of characters are there. In that case you are using this len method. Then after upper, suppose you want to convert whatever your string into uppercase letter, then you are using this upper. Same vice versa, if you want to use in lowercase, then you can use lower function. Then find, if you want to find some group of characters, or you can say that the substring, in that case you are using this find. So what happened, whatever the parameter that you are passing, then whatever the first exact match that will be available in the string during that searching criteria, that index position that will be fetched by using this function, that is find function. Then strip, if you want to remove trailing and leading white spaces in the string, then the strip function that can be used. Then replace, suppose you want to replace particular substring with another substring, then you can use this replace function. Then split, if you want to split your string, so observe one thing, whenever you are using this split, you want to split with a space, if you want to split with the comma, semicolon, so whatever the delimiter that you have to mention, and that string will be split into different substrings. Then after join, same way, if you want to join the multiple string, in that case you are using this join option. Here in both the options, say for example you are using some different sequence like tuple or list, then your output and input may be converted into different data structure. Say for example you are merging, you are joining string, then after you are splitting string, so that will be stored into list, then it is also done. Then starts with and ends with, suppose your string you want to check whether it is starts with some specific characters or specific substring, in that case you can check with here starts with and the ends with, right. So these are the different basic inbuilt operations or different methods you can see. We will see with one example. Here string 1 we have mentioned Python, string 2 that is Python programming. Observe here one thing, Python programming, here the leading space is there and as well as trailing space is also there, right. Again one important thing that you have to understand, whatever the method, string method, inbuilt method we are using, so whatever the output you are getting, that is temporary, right. So the original string that cannot be changed, but you can whatever the operation you want to perform, that you can perform that operation on that particular string, and you have to store whatever the result into some another variable, right. So original string that cannot be changed, mind well. Then after we are using length of string, so len function we are using, so it will count total number of characters available. So you can observe here in the next slide the output is 6, right. So the length is 6 for string 1, you can calculate Python, that is 6 characters. Then after string 1 dot lower, so here the output is all the characters that are in the lower case. Then after upper, so all the characters are in the upper. Then after you are using find, string 2 dot find string 1. What is the meaning of this? String 2, that is Python, you are trying to find into that is second string. So here string 2, that is your targeted string, find, and that is string 1. So if you want to search string 1, that is Python, into second string, that is Python programming, so it is the substring, so it will fetch whatever the index value. So exact match that starts with which location, that will be returned. So here you can observe the output is 1 because the Python programming, the index value starts from 0, and in string true it will start with space, so the index value is 0 for space. Then after Python, that is start from the first index, so it will return the index value 1. Then after another length of string 2 and length of whatever the strip string, strip that can be used to delete, or you can say that to remove whatever the trailing and leading spaces. So you can observe here, before using strip function the length is 20 and after using it is 18, because in the second string we have put initially and at the end 2 blank spaces, so that can be removed by using the strip function. This is another example for different methods of string. String dot replace, Python Java, right. So here 2 parameters you are passing. If you want to replace string, that you have to put that on the second parameter which value you are requiring to replace, and in the first parameter you have to mention that particular string that you want to replace. So Python programming, now it is changed to Java programming. You can observe at the bottom the output that can be mentioned. Then after you are using split. So split at which comma? So we have mentioned here one string with comma. If you want to split those string but the delimiter is comma, in that case you are using the split function and the parameter that is comma. So here all the whatever the string that can be separated and stored in the list, because the list will be the output whenever you are using the split function. Same way, suppose you want to join. So if you want to join your string with the pipeline, so you can use pipeline. Before and after there is a space, then after dot join, and then after whatever the string language, that is our the list. So whatever the elements in the list that you want to merge, so one by one all the list members or elements that can be available one by one, and then after they are merged with the symbol that is pipeline sign. So join, that is used for combine that multiple values. Then after you can use that starts with and ends with. So say for example new string starts with Python. If the string starts with Python, then you will get the true value. That means it will return the boolean value if the condition is true. If it is not starts with particular string, then you will get the false sign. Same way here you can observe for the ends with, that is programming. So in first case the result is false, in second case the result is true. So now we are concluding our session here. In today's session we have discussed how to create string, what are the string, various string manipulation operations, what are various inbuilt methods that can be used in Python for different kind of operations in strings, few more advanced operations related with string, that is regular expressions, that we are going to discuss in the next session. Till then, happy learning, happy coding. Thank you.